The Rams make it official on Puka Nacua. When will he be back, and what will they do in his absence? Who needs to step up? That's coming up next on Locked On Rams.
You are Locked On Rams, your daily Los Angeles Rams podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Ramily, and welcome to another episode of Locked On Rams, your daily podcast covering your Los Angeles Rams, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Locked On Rams, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We're also available over on YouTube, so if you haven't yet, do me a huge favor, join the party, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you want to support every episode, hit the like button, drop a comment. Podcast listeners, write us a review, or read on the show. My name is Doug McCain. Friends call me D-Mac. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. I've covered LA sports for over a decade. 24/7 Sports, the LA Sports Report, 24/7, Bleacher Report SI. I also do NFL radio for Westwood One. Today I'm flying solo, the People's Champ, Mr. Travis Rogers. He's out today. We'll see him back again on Monday. We've got a jam-packed show. We got the news on Puka Nacua. We'll dive into that. We got keys to a victory over the Jaguars. And does Stafford-Adams need to step up, or does Matthew Stafford need to step up? What is the deal with Stafford and Stafford-Adams? We'll get into that. But first, today's episode of Locked On Rams is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. All right, so let's dive into it. We got the news on Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua will not play this Sunday, dealing with that ankle injury that he sprained, and he's going to be out. Nacua left the game in the second quarter in their Week 6 win over the Ravens after coming down and experiencing pain, was hobbled, had to be helped off the field. It was a play in the back of the end zone where not a lot of contact, didn't get rolled over, but he landed a little awkward. There was some talk that, is it a high ankle sprain? Is it a fractured fibula? A lot of concerns online just because of the nature of the injury without a lot of visual evidence that you could point to specifically that it was a roll. But he did leave the game, and while he did injure it, he did return in the second quarter. He played 6 snaps, and it was in a limited capacity. It was essentially a decoy out there. And for Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington and the rest of these guys, they're going to step up in his absence. It's a major opportunity for them to get some more snaps, some more opportunities. And the truth is, you can't replace a Puka Nacua. You're not going to replace a guy who not only was established as the best receiver so far as overall production through the first 6 weeks of the season, but a guy who is legitimately in the MVP conversation. So to think you're going to get some more Puka production from guys like Jordan Whittington and Tutu Atwell, well, that's not going to be the case, but you do have Sean McVay. You do have a team that knows how to scheme, and I think that the number one thing here is for Matthew Stafford and Stafford-Adams to connect on more balls and start to develop that chemistry. What you're really going to miss with Puka as well, though, is the blocking. Puka does a lot of dirty work, a lot of blocking. He gets a lot of yards after catch. He gets a lot of attention. He just has this knack for finding the ability to get in those zones like they've been able to do this entire season. So it's going to hurt. Make no mistake about it, but this was 100% the right call because the Rams, you're sitting at 4-2. You have a bye after this, so this will give him an additional week to get right, to get healthy for the post-bye part of the season, where you got a lot of tough games down the stretch. You got the 49ers are coming up soon in San Francisco. So you can't play him in this game and have a setback where there's any additional games in jeopardy. If he has to miss one game this year, then you would sign up for that because this is a guy who's dealt with injuries throughout his career. He dealt with injuries when he was in college at BYU in Washington. He had a broken foot. Last year, had the PCL injury, had the thumb injury. This is a guy that only knows how to play one way. That's aggressive. That's with reckless abandon. And you don't want to change his style of play because that's what makes him Puka Nacua. It's the physicality. It's the want and the wherewithal. It's the ability to go into contact and be physical and out-muscle cornerbacks. I mean, this is a dude who, hey, got them size 15 shoes, right? Guys who wear big shoes like that, man, they are big and physical. And we know that he's a guy that's not afraid of contact. So, look, it's not like a play that he didn't get injured because he was trying to run into contact or anything like that. But injuries come with the territory. They're part of the process with Puka Nacua. You always have to bake them into his game because we haven't seen him have a season where he's just going wire to wire without an injury. And I will point out that in his rookie season, it was Cooper Kupp that went down, and Puka Nacua stepped up, and he was able to find a role, and then the rest is history. He goes on to have a historic rookie season. So who knows what this will mean for the rest of this team, but I think the first guy that you have to talk about is Stafford-Adams, and I think that's the number one storyline heading into this game with Puka Nacua out. How will the Rams adjust, and who will be the guy that steps up the most? And I see a lot of people out there that are dogging Stafford-Adams and trying to minimize his contributions. Even people saying that he hasn't lived up to the hype of the signing and finding him in a Rams uniform. The truth is, it hasn't been bad. It really hasn't. He has 26 catches through his first 6 games, 396 yards, 3 touchdowns. And yes, those are good number 2 wide receiver numbers. If you're WR2, you'll sign up for that. But those aren't WR1 or WR1A, 1B type of numbers that we are expecting from Stafford-Adams. So that is fair to say. But I think this week is the week where you're going to see a concerted effort to get things going between him and Matthew Stafford even more than we've already seen. And the truth is that the Jaguars are a team that has been better defensively, but they're still averaging 256.3 passing yards allowed per game. So there is a major opportunity for Stafford and Stafford-Adams to exploit that Jaguars secondary. And hopefully we look back at this game and we say to ourselves, hey, it was a silver lining. It was a blessing in disguise that you were able to get him some opportunities because Puka Nacua is so good that it's tough to not feed him the ball. It's tough not to give him 10 to 15 targets at least per game, just because he makes the most of them and it helps this team win football games. So I look at the fact, too, the Jaguars, they're the 30th ranked pass defense in the National Football League. And not only can Adams eat, I'm hoping that Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington can eat. And I look at some of the comments that we've seen from Stafford-Adams and Matthew Stafford in the past weeks, and it's clear that they both are on the same page when it comes to what they need to do to get right as a core. And Stafford-Adams said, we're not taking our time by any stretch of the imagination. He said that I wouldn't say a sense of urgency is the necessary term, given we have a pretty good sense of urgency now. It's just not easy, man. I played with current Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers for the majority of my career. We played 9 years together, basically, in Green Bay. It definitely didn't start off the first couple of years, let alone the first couple of games, the way that we got going. Not that we have another 10 years to go, but it takes time. It's not easy. Puka and Matthew have been playing together for years now, and they have a little better understanding of where one another is going to be and what to expect in just making it work. It's been a few years, and it's been a few where there have been really no excuses for me or him. We just have to put it together. So his comments are saying, hey, I was with Aaron Rodgers for a while, and even that took some time to build that chemistry. But I got news for you, Devontae. You don't have, one, the time with Aaron Rodgers that you're going to have with Stafford, maybe 2 years max. And even for your career, if you want to stay with the Rams, you're going to need to show a lot, and they're going to want to have you back. And I still think that's a possibility, but you're going to have to accelerate it, and you have to find a way to make it work. And the truth is that when he was developing that chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, he was a younger player. Now he's an older player, so he should have a better understanding of how to accelerate that because he's worked with other quarterbacks as well. And then Matthew Stafford said about the ongoing chemistry with Davante Adams and what they need to do to get right together. Stafford said there's been some good ones. There's been some missed ones. I would take the majority of the blame on a lot of those and just give him a better chance on a couple. He's still doing a great job of winning. I missed him on the one corner route in the end zone, and he made this guy look foolish. He's doing a great job separating. I have to give him a couple better chances. The early execution was just 2 throws really missed by me. That's the biggest thing, I think, when it all boils down to. So I love that about Matthew Stafford. He's saying, hey, I got this. That's on me. I got to be accountable. I got to throw you better balls. Davante Adams, we know there's been some drops mixed in there, but there also has been some misses for Matthew Stafford. But like I've said on this show for a couple weeks now, the number one thing for me is he is beating his man. He is winning his matchups, and that is what you can't correct. I mean, you can have the best hands in the league. You can have the best hands in the league, but if you can't beat your man, well, then, hey, you're going to get defended. And he still has the athleticism and the footwork to beat his man. He still has the athleticism and the footwork to be a WR1 adjacent in this league, something that Cooper Kupp wasn't even close to being last year. So there's still so much potential there, and there's still a lot of excitement there from me just because I still think, hey, one of the big questions I had early on in the season was, when is the fall off going to happen for Davante Adams? Because let's be honest, with receivers over 30, it can happen any season. And for him, it hasn't happened yet. So the fact that he still has that in his bag, I think this is going to be a big week for Davante Adams, quite frankly. I think that he's going to capitalize, he's going to take advantage of this opportunity. I still like Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington, and I want to see some more 12 personnel, 2 tight ends with Terrence Ferguson, Rams rookie tight end, who was their top pick in last year in the 2025 draft out of Oregon, a guy they said that would have taken with the number 26 pick. I've got Terrence Ferguson having a couple catches in this one. I see some 12 personnel from the Rams, and hopefully you give him some opportunities. But there's another injury that the Rams are dealing with too that's very critical, and we're going to get into that next on Locked On Rams. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. October 10th was World Mental Health Day, and this year we're saying thank you, therapists. Life can be tough, on and off the field, and behind millions of mental health journeys are therapists who showed up, listened, and helped people take a step forward. BetterHelp is shining the spotlight on those connections while also making it simple for you to find support whenever you need it. Therapy moments can be life-changing, whether it's learning to better connect with your kids, healing a relationship, or finding healthy ways to manage stress. I know I have a lot of family members that have taken advantage of BetterHelp, and it's just a great company with great people. They can help you in so many different ways. I know when something's weighing on me, just talking it through can bring clarity and relief and really can be life-changing. So if you ever thought about trying therapy, this is the perfect reminder that help is out there and the right therapist can make all the difference. This World Mental Health Day, join us in celebrating the therapists who've helped millions take a step forward. If you're ready to start your own journey, BetterHelp can help you find the right therapist. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/lockedon. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. This episode of Locked On Rams brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley's rushing for a touchdown, and you are in the game. I love Prize Picks. I play it all the time, and I love how quick it is. You can make your lineup in under a minute. And my favorite part, Prize Picks just added stacks. So if you want to ride with a player, I can select their pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns all in one lineup. It's also fun to follow other players in the app and copy their lineup with one click. Also, a new feature that I love, it's the injury reboot feature. If your player leaves early and doesn't return, it won't count against you. Also, there's a special max discount promotion live on the board right now for the Golden State Warriors versus Los Angeles Lakers game on October 21st. Steph Curry is discounted to only needing more than half a point to win. Mix and match players from football, basketball, and baseball to build your dream lineup today. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 off in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. And we are off and running here on Locked On Rams. Thank you for making Locked On Rams your first listen every single weekday. Free and available wherever your podcast. Locked On Rams, part of Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Big special shout out to those everyday listeners out there watching, listening to every single episode of Locked On Rams. Cannot thank you enough. If you're new to the show, new to the channel, join the Everyday Listeners Club. That's where you watch or listen to every single episode we drop, and then you won't miss a thing about your Los Angeles Rams. Okay, here in our second segment, some more injury news. The Rams will be without starting right tackle Rob Havenstein on Sunday. The Rams finished their final full day of practice in Baltimore, where they were practicing at Camden Yards, by the way, where the Orioles play. Lots of cool images there. And they ruled out Puka Nacua. Well, now they rule out Rob Havenstein. So Havenstein has missed the last two games. Warren McClendon Jr., he stepped up and he started in his place. And McClendon has done a really nice job, a 70.4 overall grade. That makes him the 30th best offensive tackle in the league in that stretch. Yes, that's not okay. Let's make this guy the future, or he's going to get Wally Pip, Rob Havenstein. But as a backup, the fact that you're top 30, that's pretty decent. That's more than respectable. And he also has the fourth best run blocking tackle grade in the NFL at 83. So that's definitely something to feel good about, to take advantage of that aspect of his skill set. And the Jaguars, they haven't been great when it comes to getting to the quarterback. They've recorded sacks on just 3.45% of dropbacks this season. That's the second lowest in the National Football League. So the Rams, they should be okay without Rob Havenstein. The question is, how quickly can he get healthy? Where is he at this stage of his career? Are we starting to see the decline of Rob Havenstein? I think all those are possible. I think big picture, the Rams are going to be looking to bring in another tackle, whether it be through free agency, whether it be through the draft. We saw the bust of Jonah Jackson a couple seasons ago. We all saw them draft Steve Avila. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because it looks like clearly there's more yesterdays than tomorrows for Rob Havenstein's career. But this does feel like a last dance type of season for him with the Rams as he deals with that ankle injury. But coming up next, I've got some stats for you that will give you all the confidence in the world as to why the Rams will win on Sunday and why you shouldn't worry about Puka Nacua being out. Because remember, they're the Los Angeles Rams, not the Los Angeles Pukas. That's coming up next on Locked On Rams. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than anyone else. From footwork to breathe work, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings the same intention to how we craft every model. You can feel Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but. From smooth handling to intuitive controls, with all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. What do you get when you have a bald eagle standing on top of a silverback gorilla riding a T-Rex? Confidence, pure confidence. If you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Go Long. That's exactly where Rugiet Go Long comes in. This isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula, so you can get hard and go the distance. The effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if you're prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. If prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly to your door. It's that simple. It's that safe. And if you're ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom, head to Rugiet.com and use code LOCKEDONNFL for 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com. Promo code LOCKEDONNFL. Make sure to use our code so they know we sent you. And welcome back to Locked On Rams. Thank you for making Locked On Rams your first listen every single weekday. Free and available wherever you get your podcast. Locked On Rams, part of Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. So Rams, Jaguars from London. Taking a look at some of these expert picks. So we've got an aggregate of the expert picks around the NFL. And you've got 36 of them. 36 analysts and pundits, people that work for USA Today and ESPN and CBS and Bleacher Report and Sports Illustrated. Guys like Albert Breer who picked the Rams. Lindsey Theory picked the Rams. We've got Cody Benjamin picked the Rams. Well, out of those 36 picks, 23 picked the Rams. So that's a decent amount. It's not an overwhelming amount. I think there's room there for, okay, some people still believe in this team, and some people still think the Jags could get a win too. But let's take some deeper looks into where the Jaguars are and what's different about them. And one thing that I want to point out as far as going up against their defense, the defense has been better. They're not a team that gets a ton of pressure, but there's two things you need to know about this Jaguars defense. One, they create turnovers. In 2024, the Jags were dead last with 9 takeaways. 2025, they lead the league with 14 takeaways through 6 weeks. They have a nose for the football, interceptions, finding a way to turn the ball over. And one of the differences as well, the second thing you need to know is last year, you saw this Jacksonville Jaguars team. They were different when it comes to the zone defense. And this year, they use zone coverage at a 79.7% clip. That's the 4th highest in the NFL this year. Last year, they were in those zone coverages 41.3% of the time. So defenders, you got more. They made more plays on the ball, and that's kind of what has been the result of this. They've been able to find the football, make things happen, and if you are Matthew Stafford, you got to find those soft spots, and that's going to be key, and that's where you really miss Puka Nacua because he's one of the best in the NFL at being able to find those soft spots. And so that's going to be an area that you're going to want to attack, and I look at one of the players you got to look at, too, on offense, left tackle Walker Little. Walker Little, he is someone who's coming off a very bad game against the Seattle Seahawks. He allowed Trevor Lawrence to be pressured 25 dropbacks. I mean, the Jaguars allowed Trevor Lawrence to be pressured on 25 dropbacks. That was the most in a game since 2022. And Walker Little was one of the reasons why he gave up a team-high 4 sacks and 6 pressures. Okay? So I look at that as an area where I'm going to exploit in the biggest way possible. The Jaguars are literally coming off a atrocious performance when it comes to defending Trevor Lawrence, and guys like Jared Verse and Byron Young are going to have opportunities to get home and get to the quarterback. And I'm also looking at their cornerback play. Buster Brown, he made some really nice pass breakups, played the Chiefs well, and Mahomes, the Jaguars, they end up trading away Tyson Campbell for Greg Newsome, essentially, because Greg Newsome's on their team now from the Browns. And Greg Newsome, on his first snap as a Jag, he allowed a 61-yard touchdown. So Brown, of course, he's someone that that they're looking for as a guy that can do some things, but we'll see what Greg Newsome, if they're going to kind of rotate them. Of course, you got Travis Hunter, but the biggest weakness for Jacksonville has been, how do you bottle up the other team's best receiver? So we'll see if Davante Adams can capitalize on that and kind of go back into a true WR1 role. So I like this matchup for the Rams. I really do. I like the fact that you have the advantage on the defensive line getting after Trevor Lawrence. I like the fact that this lack of Davante Adams success early on this season will lead to, I think, a breakout game for him, because I think it's kind of one of those never fear Davante's here with Puka Nacua out. So I think it's a golden opportunity to take advantage of this. But also defensively, I really like a big game from that ferocious front of the Rams getting after Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence is really good at avoiding sacks. He's been better at making plays out of structure. The thing about this Jaguars team and Trevor Lawrence is you're still trying to get on the same page with Liam Cohen. Trevor Lawrence wants to be in the shotgun. Liam Cohen wants him to be under center and go through deep balls through play action. So I don't think they've truly found that pure chemistry. I don't think they're synced up. I don't think that it's at where for a team that's 4-2, their team coming off a really ugly loss to the Seahawks, and I still think that of the 4-2 teams, they're the one that, I don't want to call them frauds. I really don't, because they could definitely win this game. There's a world where they win this game, but I think that they're not a true 4-2 team in the greatest sense of the word. But I got the Rams winning this one. I think that this is a challenge for Sean McVay and Stafford and the rest of this Rams team. They think that people will write them off in this game because they don't have Puka Nacua, but I think this is a game where you remember and remind yourself that this is not just, they're not the Los Angeles Pukas, right? They're not the Los Angeles Nacuas. They're the Los Angeles Rams, and that's who this team is. And you got Kyron, you got an offensive line that can do work. You got Stafford, Davante Adams, Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington, and a really nice defense. Hopefully the special team doesn't drop the ball or get the ball blocked, and they're not a reason why this team loses. But this team, even without Puka Nacua, has the talent and the coaching to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's not going to be about Duval. It's going to be about L.A. County. And I think the Rams win this game by a final score of 24-17. Let's go 24-17 in this one. I think the Rams get this win, and they improve to 5-2 heading into the bye, and they get a big win without Puka Nacua. But that's going to do it for this episode of Locked On Rams. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. And until next time, whose house? It's Locked On Rams house.